more wrestling news. It's a shame that we can't bring you more wrestling news without there being more worrying wrestling news. Right, Andrew?
It's very true. Yeah, it's just a day that keeps on giving, Tom. Not the best way.
We do have some good news at the end of this. Some exciting news, which I think many will be excited about. I personally am, but we'll get to that at the end. But for now, here are your headlines. Are more WWE cuts coming today? Future plans for Roman Reigns have been revealed, and a new SmackDown announcer debuts tonight. We'll talk about it in a bit. So an update on the release of WWE Stars for you now. In case you've not been paying attention over the last, well, it kind of started around 2 p.m. local time yesterday with WWE releasing multiple active roster members on April the 15th. Eerily 1 year on from Black Wednesday, April the 15th, 2020. We have an update from the Wrestling Observer with Dave Meltzer about what we could see and when we could see some of these guys making an appearance next. What's Dave got to say, Andrew?
So Dave says, John Laurinaitis was in charge of telling talent that they were being let go, saying it was due to budgetary reasons. All talent released is being paid through July 14th, and will have a non-compete until that point, to where they wouldn't be able to legally work for anyone else, although at times they have allowed people to work independents, but not for a television promotion. There are people who have or are going to ask to see if they can be waived because they want to get on the market and back to work as soon as possible. The fact everyone has a 90-day and Andrade didn't. The fact that everybody has a 90-day, and Andrade didn't, tells you Andrade had some form of a way of getting that removed when he got his release. So that's interesting.
I think there'll be quite a few wrestlers who may want to waive this 90-day no-compete. Now, the whole thing with the 90-day no-compete, it's essentially gardening leave for wrestlers.
Yeah.
It allows them to continue getting paid until the middle of July on the contracts that they're on. And it also serves as kind of like a buffer period between them doing something else and starting something new. And there will be some, I think, after numerous cases in the past of these 90-day no-competes being waived, they'll be keen to get back into the market quickly, because wrestling in America is certainly getting back up and running again. It wasn't like last year where actually 90 days no-compete was kind of in a weird way a blessing, because you could sort of just sit. Nobody was doing anything anyway outside of WWE and AEW, so you could just sit it out. But with things getting back to normal, there might be a rush for people to start earning that money again and turning up places. Also from the Observer today, Dave says the rumor going around was, and this was a rumor that was circulating earlier this morning as well, there will be more cuts today concentrating on NXT. Now, this does fall in line with last year, where we had Black Wednesday on the 15th of April, and then the following day we saw a lot of undercard NXT stars quietly given 30-day no-competes and left the company from there, some of which turned up in other places, like the likes of Cesar Bononi, and others still haven't yet rematerialized. And I don't know how much there, in terms of sort of like the lower card talent, because these were talent that were cut last year that were doing what they call the coconut shows. These were not non-broadcast NXT touring shows, and it was majority of those stars that were cut. So I don't know how much there is to take from NXT at this point.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This NXT seemed to do a good job of utilizing everybody as well, giving everybody like a decent amount of time to shine and to have their spot on television. So I'm not really sure. It worries me a little bit because there's so many incredible people in NXT and so many talented people that maybe haven't had their opportunity to develop a bit further than what they maybe would like to. But then again, at the same time, if these people are cut, perhaps they can go on to pastures better, pastures greener, and enjoy success somewhere else. But still, again, it's just sad that there could potentially be some more cuts coming.
We'll keep you up to date on that at cultaholic.com, and we send our best wishes to those who have been affected by these cuts that are continuing throughout the day. We're staying with the Wrestling Observer for this one, as some future plans for Roman Reigns have been revealed. So Roman's finish at WrestleMania, he promised to stack them like they were Pringles. And he did, except he didn't eat them. But the finish where he promised to pin both Daniel Bryan and Edge at the same time very much came to light. And there was a reason. There's another reason behind this. And Dave talks about this in The Observer. And he says, regarding the reason that Roman Reigns is still the WWE Universal Champion, the 3 biggest money matches that they believe they have are all with Roman Reigns. And that includes Dwayne Johnson, John Cena, and Brock Lesnar. You don't have to have Reigns always win those matches. Those matches would still draw if he lost the belt now and won it back later. But Bryan is not their pick as champion now. And while Edge would have made for a better story on the day, he'd have to lose it back. And by results, you can see they made the decision that they'd rather protect Reigns for the money matches than give fans a happy ending for night 2. So with Roman Reigns looking ahead, it seems there's 3 matches on the docket for Roman, and you have to believe these are matches taking place at SummerSlams and WrestleManias, Andrew. Got to be.
The Dwayne Johnson one just makes the most sense, I think, for storyline purposes, and that you must imagine that one is a big old WrestleMania bout for the ages, right there.
That's Mania 38, I believe, in LA, and it asks the question. And I am one for sort of ridiculously long storytelling. I do like stories that are told over a long period of time, but I ask the question, tentatively, would WWE allow Roman Reigns to hold the WWE Universal Championship until 2023?
Ooh. I wouldn't be against that, I would not be against that. He's doing the best work of his career at the moment, and I think to really solidify and cement this sort of incredible reign that he's going on, pardon the pun, Roman Reigns, I think that would be great. I think that would be really good, because then the person that topples him, just, oh my goodness, they will be amazing.
I'm currently feverishly doing some quick date maths, right?
Ooh, quick maths.
Because I'm intrigued to know, sort of, if we do get to a point where Roman Reigns is the Universal Champion come WrestleMania 38, he won the championship on the 30th of October 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So by the time he gets to then, days between. I'm trying to feverishly Google. Days between 2 dates. I'm on a website called daysbetween2dates.com. Don't cut any of this out. It's all gold.
All staying in?
It's all gold. If anything, stick an advert at this point.
Yep.
Just to keep people ticking over. When's WrestleMania 30? When's WrestleMania 38? It's on that date. It's on the 3rd of April. Quick maths coming up. 3rd April 2023. Calculate days between 2 days. That would give Roman Reigns a title reign of 946 days.
That sounds
San Martino-esque.
Yeah.
We're in that ballpark.
That's another thing. We don't get reigns that long, especially not in WWE anymore, do we? Like, let's bring some stock to the Universal Championship, because it's a belt that's felt kind of... It's not up there, I don't think, in terms of caliber with the WWE Championship. So, especially when we had, like, the changing of Goldberg winning it and then Braun Strowman and stuff, bless them, winning it, it just doesn't feel like a big thing. But have Roman Reigns keep that for so long, put more stock in that belt, and then have the big moment where he gets toppled. I think that would be really cool.
I like how you said Braun Strowman, bless him.
Bless him. He tried, didn't he?
That sums up his title reign, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Braun Strowman, bless him. Talking of WWE stock, nearly spending some of that stock money in Fight TV. So TrillerNet, which is the parent company of Triller Boxing Promotion, they officially purchased Fight, which is the streaming platform not just for pro wrestling, but for MMA, kickboxing, and many more things as well. Predominantly combat sport, I think all combat sports. It is the home. They have AEW hosted there on a Wednesday, along with NWA Power. A $5 on Fight, you get Power. I'm not standing how to spend your money, but that's a posh cup of coffee and you get NWA Power. GCW had their whole the collective weekend on there during WrestleMania. They even had WrestleMania on there for markets that couldn't get Peacock or WWE Network. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because Triller coming in to purchase it sweeps it away from WWE, because Fight not all that long ago had been in negotiations with WWE. The sides, however, never came to an agreement, and it would have been an interest. I wonder how things would have developed had WWE, who were selling off, who are now trying to sell off the network to different streaming markets. Expect the same thing in the UK at some point. Let's not get cocky about it, lads. But to WWE to purchase Fight would they would own all of wrestling if that had happened. That'd be a monopoly, surely.
It would be. It would be just one of the hugest things ever. And then what would that mean for other promotions as well being on that platform? I genuinely don't know. But, I mean, it's intriguing just to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. The key to owning Fight, the key to the deal is by owning Fight, they would be getting 100% of the revenue from their streaming pay-per-view shows, as well as opposed to a much lower percentage. This is what Trillanet is getting. AEW works with Fight on distribution for its pay-per-view shows outside the US, as well as a monthly $5 service in the UK market, where people can watch Dynamite live each week before it airs streaming or on television through ITV on Friday nights. And you get power for a $5. I'm just reminding you of the power for a $5 thing. I think I need to. And talking of power, a power game, being brought to SmackDown tonight. We had a shake-up of the commentary team on Monday Night Raw, welcoming Adnan Virk to the commentation station. SmackDown looking different this week as well. What is going on the SmackDown announce table, Andrew?
My goodness, Tom, it's a big one. It's a big one. WWE have confirmed that Pat McAfee will join Michael Cole in the SmackDown commentary team. That is, that's a big one.
That's a beefy get, that is. He's going to be replacing Corey Graves, who has now moved over to the Raw side. Pat put out a video which features it's a hype video for this gig, and it features Vince McMahon sat in Gorilla saying, "Pat McAfee, you're hired." And I feel for Pat a bit. I think this is a weird day to announce your dream job, and I'm not saying he shouldn't at all. You know, it's great to hear people getting gigs. It must be a strange one for him, but I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing for Pat McAfee to join the SmackDown team. I really am.
Do you think it's a way for them to eventually bring Adam Cole up to the main roster as well?
Well, it opens that door beautifully for a commentator versus wrestler storyline, the likes of which we haven't seen since Jerry Lawler versus Taz in 2000.
It's about
Michael
time.
Cole versus Jerry Lawler.
It's about time, right? Come on.
Yeah, we are in need of a new wrestler versus commentator collision, and I'm excited to see it. Have yourself an amazing weekend. Look after yourself. More details on the releases from WWE can be found online at cultaholic.com throughout the day and across the weekend. Stay safe. Love you. Bye.